What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to give you 3 steps to break free of your limitations and step into a completely new reality. Now, I think we've all had this experience of feeling stuck. Maybe we feel stuck in a job or a career we hate. Maybe we feel stuck in a relationship, be it with another person or with money. Maybe there's just this sense that there's something more we should be doing and we're not. We're kind of holding ourselves back. I know for me, I've never felt more stuck than in making the decision to go all in and start my business. There's days where I feel totally inspired, like I could do anything. And there's other days where I feel completely defeated and unmotivated, like I should just quit it and start something new. And it could be a terrible feeling. It's frustrating. But as challenging as it is, I also think it's an important part of this human experience. This sort of game that we chose to come here and play together. I believe that at our core we're these infinite spiritual beings, these beings of pure unconditional love, and that we come here to experience ourselves in lack and limitation and fear so that ultimately we could have the experience of growing and evolving and expanding beyond these limitations into the truth of who we really are. And so if you're watching this video, you probably know this somewhere deep down. You probably feel this calling or this stirring deep in your soul, like there's something bigger that I should be doing. There's got to be a bigger meaning to life. There's something more to it all. There's a mission and a purpose that I want to be stepping into, and maybe I don't know what that looks like yet. And so today I kind of wanted to dive into how do we break free of our limitations and break free of these boxes that we like to put ourselves in to step into a life of fulfillment and purpose and empowerment. And so I wanted to break this into sort of 3 easy steps, beginning with number 1. And number 1 is awareness. Now, awareness, I think, can be a term that gets sort of tossed around without a lot of meaning today. And what I mean by awareness in this context is really becoming aware of the unconscious programs that run our life. Now, Carl Jung, famous psychologist, he was this sort of mystical spiritual guy who put these concepts into a language that was accepted by mainstream psychology. But one of my favorite quotes from him is, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Now, powerful, powerful quote. And what he means by this is essentially we have these deeply ingrained beliefs about ourselves, about the world, about what we believe, what we deserve and what we're worthy of. And so if we take a close look at our life, mostly it's in the area of relationships, family, intimate relationships, our relationship with money, our career, our finances. These are the big ones. But if we look in these areas of our life, most of us will find that we have these sort of patterns and themes that we replay over and over again throughout the course of our life. Usually they're these repeating challenges and pain points that we always seem to bump up against. Maybe it's this limit to how much money we make, or that we always seem to sabotage in our career, in our success, or maybe we replay the same themes in our relationships. We kind of attract the same types of people. And we all have these things, and what they really are these repeating patterns. They're showing us what we truly believe to be true about ourselves. The way that reality works is external reality is nothing more than a mirror of our inner world, our inner state. Life just gives us more of what we think to be true, what we believe we deserve. And it's very tempting to want to blame other people or blame life, blame God or circumstance or fate, luck, things like that. But really what it is life is just this feedback system to show us what we truly believe about ourselves. And so it's really about examining our lives at a very deep level, having the awareness and the introspection to say, okay, what's this really about? What is life showing me? And what do I really believe? Like these beliefs, they're so deeply ingrained that to us, they're just true. It's just the way life is. But to someone else who doesn't have that belief, it sounds strange, it's weird. But to us, it's completely true. Like for example, one of the beliefs that I've recently become aware of is that I need to struggle to get what I want, that I need to suffer to live a life that's fulfilling and purposeful. And I'm sure you could imagine how that played out. Every time I got something good, there was this kind of guilt, like I should be suffering and struggling for it, or I would always find ways to make things hard on myself, to present myself with situations that brought up a lot of pain and suffering. And when I would go through that pain, only then I would feel like, okay, now I can accept something good. I can accept success or some kind of reward. But to me, for most of my life, I was completely unaware of it. It was so deeply buried in the subconscious. To me, that's just the way my life was. It's the way the world was. And so every struggle, every challenge is really an opportunity to take ownership and to go within and to use those things to look at ourselves and to use it to find out, what do I believe about myself? What do I feel like I deserve? What are my beliefs about the world and other people? And so this is awareness, because in cultivating this awareness, what we're really doing is we're creating this distance between ourselves as the observer and the belief. Rather than us and the belief being one, we have this separation now where we could observe it objectively. And so when we repeat these patterns in our life, instead of it being a sort of unconscious habit, now it's a choice. We have the choice. Are we going to give into it or are we not? And so that's number one, awareness. And that brings us into number two, which is emotional healing, or you might hear it called inner child healing or shadow work. And basically, the beliefs, at least from what I've experienced, these deep beliefs, they actually stem from emotions, and the emotion is what's primary. So if we want to start to change these beliefs, we actually have to start to dig and change the emotion. Most of these emotions are things that we experienced as little children, and they were too painful for us to process. And so what happens is when we don't process the emotions, emotions are just energy in motion, emotion. And emotions want to be felt. They want to be acknowledged. They want to move through the body so that we could process them. And when we don't, when we're little children and we experience these painful things like betrayal and rejection, feeling not good enough, not important, unloved, alone, they're so painful that we shove them into the body or into the unconscious. And when we do that, they actually get locked up in the body, in the tissues of the body, where they stay. And when they're locked up in the body, these are the emotions and the traumas that keep replaying over the course of our lives, because they're stuck. They're just stuck energy. They're stagnant. They're sort of like fermenting in the body. They end up causing disease and imbalance in the body. But until we start to dig into these deep, painful emotions and do the healing work, what happens is these emotions, they trigger the beliefs. We'll always sort of think in an equivalent frequency to the emotions we're feeling. And so I in my experience, you can do all the psychological work and try to change your beliefs, positive self-talk, but until you really get into the root cause of what's bringing those beliefs to the surface, the amount of change is going to be limited. And so the most effective way that I've found to heal these deep emotions is really the healing is in the feeling. So there's no shortcut. There's no way to bypass it. You really need to feel these difficult, painful emotions and to allow your brain to process them. It can be incredibly powerful to kind of go back in your life and look at where these patterns came from whenever you feel an emotion. What I've found is if you really lean into it instead of running away from it, if you embrace the emotion, let yourself feel it, it'll almost take you back to your childhood, to when you first felt those things. And you can almost use that as like this portal, this gateway to this deep inner child healing, where you can go back in time and give yourself the love that maybe you felt you never received. And So I would like to do a video maybe later on the technique of inner child, but what you really need to know is that the healing is in the feeling. And so in healing these deep emotions, what you'll find is that your beliefs start to change, your subconscious beliefs, the way you view the world, the way you look at other people, the way you look at yourself and relate to yourself. These things will start to change over time, and there really is no shortcut. It's deep work. It's true inner transformation. It's not easy, but this is true spirituality. It's true inner work, and so that's number 2 is really the emotional healing that will change your life. And number three is dream bigger. Now, here's what I mean by that. Is I think so often we kind of settle in our life. We think maybe all I want is a raise at my job, or all I want is to meet this person who's going to make me feel loved, who's going to go to the bar with me and watch football with me on Sundays. But really, maybe, what if we're playing too small? What if instead of a raise, maybe we're supposed to leave that job and start a business that's going to impact thousands, millions of people, to experience a prosperity that's beyond our greatest dreams. Maybe instead of that mediocre relationship, that transactional relationship of I'll make you feel one way and you make me feel another way, without really getting to know the person, maybe instead of that sort of superficial relationship, maybe you're destined for this deep soul relationship, where you get to truly see another person for who they are and truly learn to experience unconditional love. And so I think a lot of times when we're feeling stuck, when we're bumping up against these walls and we're not really sure where to go, a lot of times I think it's because we're actually playing too small. For example, when I decided to start my business, I had this belief that I needed some sort of security, some source of income as a backup in case my business didn't work, in case this doesn't work out, or when I'm not making enough money in my business, at least I'll have this fallback and I'll be making some sort of income. But what I found is when I started applying to these jobs and I got into the process of going back and forth, for some weird reason or another, every opportunity fell through. None of it worked out. And I thought I had it in the bag at some points. It was shocking, it was surprising, but what I came to in time was the realization that I was living from this place of fear, this place of, well, I don't really believe in myself, so I need this backup. That I didn't really believe that my business could take off and be successful, and so I was trying to make these contingency plans for when it failed. And so what I realized is that I was playing too small, that maybe my business is supposed to be bigger than I could have imagined. Maybe I'm supposed to help more people than I can accept right now. And I think that for so many of us right now, I'm seeing that life is asking people to go all in on their dreams, especially at this time. There's so many people who feel this calling, and you're probably one of them, to step into your purpose, your higher calling, to take everything you've learned over your life and apply it in service to other people, to help other people. And I think what life is really asking, for the sake of all humanity, is that we make the decision and the commitment to go all in. And it's not going to be easy. We're not going to have a roadmap for what that looks like. All we're going to know is what the next step is. And when we commit to that, I've found that life rewards the all-in attitude. Life rewards people who go all in and commit to their dreams. And that's when true miracles and true synchronicities happen, is when we say, you know what, this is who I am, and I'm just going to go for it. And I don't care what other people think. I don't care about all the things that could go wrong. I'm just going to step into it, and I'm gonna create the life of my dreams. And so if you're feeling stuck right now, I want to encourage you to maybe think bigger. Your purpose, your mission, it's probably bigger than you can imagine right now. That career, that startup, it's going to be more successful than anything you can dream. And so begin to accept that. Know that you're worthy of it. Know that you have value to offer other people. That, you deserve it all. And I think that from what I've experienced, a lot of times our greatest purpose and our greatest gifts that we have to offer other people actually lie just beyond the other side of those imaginary walls that we bump up against. It's, one of my biggest fears was putting myself out there and being a speaker, going on YouTube, on social media, and putting my message out there. I'm a very quiet, very introverted person. Anybody who knows that could tell you. But one of my biggest fears was posting YouTube videos and stuff on Instagram, because I was afraid. What are people gonna think of me? What are family and friends gonna say when I'm talking about this kind of esoteric spiritual stuff? But what I found is in doing it and moving beyond those fears and just making the commitment that, I feel afraid, but I'm just going to do it anyway. There's this sort of deep fulfillment that comes from it. There's this deep satisfaction that no matter what happens, I feel good that I'm putting myself out there and that I'm standing for something. And so feeling fear and feeling stuck, it's okay. It's part of the process. It's natural. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not really real. It's in your head. And so I would encourage you to just embrace it and to let yourself feel it, and to know that, what you're here to do is, it's beyond what you can understand right now. And that all you're going to be shown right now is that next step. And as you take step after step and you commit to action, in months and a year, you'll be a completely different person. And when you're a completely different person, like we talked about earlier, the reality that life reflects back to you is going to be completely different as well. And so by the time you get there and you keep taking those steps, it's going to be natural to be on camera, to be successful, to be somebody who's affluent and abundant, to be somebody who has that incredible, life-changing, transformative relationship. So just know that you're worthy of all these things. I can't wait to see what you all create in your life. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Please feel free to leave a comment below. Also, let me know what kind of content you want to hear moving forward. And as always, if you hit the like and subscribe, that really helps me out. It helps my message to reach more people. And so also, if you're looking for free content or one-on-one coaching information, be sure to click on the link down below. That's all I got for you guys here today. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.